Welcome to late January issue of Yard Walk. Today, what we're going to be doing is planting some crabapple trees that I just got in the mail. And the first thing I'm going to do is unwrap them. They came from Rain Tree Nursery, which is the place in the Pacific Northwest, or west of the Rocky Mountains anyway, that has the best fruit trees by reputation. They came in the mail. They came in a bundle, tied together. Each variety was labeled, and there's the packing. I'm going to unpack them, and I'm going to put them into a bucket of water for an hour or so while I go up and dig the holes. Okay, they the roots were wrapped in damp, let me get this out of the way, damp newspaper, so that's going to the compost bin, and a little plastic, which is going to have to go to the garbage. And there they are in the water. And they also came with a stick, a bamboo stick, I guess it is, or some kind of a stick that helped keep them from being bent or broken in the mail. And they need to be planted at least 12 feet apart, spacing. So up there, what I did originally here, years ago when I started this conversion of this lawn hill to not a lawn hill, I started at the bottom and I put in, and then I started working up. And I've got like three terraces on this side, but I never got all the way to the top. I sort of got lazy. So I think I'll put them up above the terraces on this side. They need some sun, so I'm going to edge them toward, that way is north, so I'm going to edge them toward the north, because then in the summertime, they'll get direct sun, especially in the morning up here. The sun will be above the trees in the summertime, and that part of the lawn gets pretty good sun, so I'll put them up there. And you can also see the results of that heavy snow we had. Most of the plants came through in good shape. This evergreen here is bent over. Maybe I'll try to stake it up. I don't know that it can come back, or maybe I should just trim it. I should probably, there I can see there's one stick that I did trim. I should probably just prune the top off of that one. Well, we'll work about that later. This is an evergreen that there's an empty spot here. I planted this ornamental here last year. Well, we're here. Here's some, did not get a really great crop of the snowberries this year, although maybe the birds have gotten them. This is the one that has the pinkish snowberries. There's a few berries there. And I need to trim this back because the snow has pushed it over on top of the manzanita here. So there's a lot of cleanup and trimming and whatnot to do up here, probably all throughout the yard. Yeah, here's oh man, here's a guy that's completely fallen over. A Mahonia, Oregon grape. It'll have to be staked up. So, those Mahonia up there got bent, but they didn't fall over. I may do some pruning up there too. Lots of pruning. Okay, well anyway, back to work. Let's get to work on the crabapple trees. Dig the holes. Okay, let's review the tools I've got up here. I've got a bucket of compost. I've got some organic fertilizer. It says citrus and fruit tree on it. It says 842. I'm going to mix some of that in to give it a boost. This has got, I paid a little extra. This has got the mycorrhizae, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's got the little bugs in it that help form a symbiotic relationship with the plant. And since these are bare root coming in, I think they need a little help. Although some of that stuff might already be in my compost. Here's my bypass pruner there. I'm going to do a little pruning. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Here's a hole that I dug. a shovel, of course, and a pick. And although I didn't use the pick on this hole, I brought it up here just in case I need it. Sometimes our soil gets really hard and you have to use a pick, but up here on this hill, it tends to be, you can dig down several feet. You don't need to go down too far. And I noticed looking at this guy, this is the first one. This is a pink cloud crab apple, which is going to get pinkish flowers, which, so Kathy picked this one up for my Christmas present because of the flowers. So it's going over here on this end, so it's going to have kind of a central place in the yard. So when it's in bloom, it should be a real focal point. Okay, there's a, looks like right, I'm going to say right where my fingers are is probably where the graft is. So I want that graft to be above the dirt. So I'll be putting dirt no higher, definitely no higher than the roots. This top root is getting pretty close to where the graft is, I think. I think it's right there. Unless it's up here. Maybe it's way up here now that I look at it. So it's where my fingers are now. So we've got quite a, we can go above the roots. What I want to do is I want to mound some dirt in the middle of the hole and kind of put this baby over it. I'm gonna go and dig the hole a little wider now. Some of these roots are a little bit too long, probably. I'll trim them back. I want them all pointed outward so that they'll spread out into the surrounding soil. I don't think I'm going to do any pruning to this. It's got one good strong leader with a couple of small branches on it. It's got one side branch which I could take off, but it's a couple of 1.5 feet above the graft, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that. So I'm not going to do any extra trimming on this one. Okay, so let's go get this baby in the ground. Okay, 1 down, 2 to go. Since this is on a slope, what I've done here, besides planting a tree crooked, is I got it deep enough. The graft is actually quite a bit above the soil here, so I could mound in some more soil if I wanted to. But I've got it, buried about even here with the upside of the slope, and the grass that I cut out to make the hole, I've put in around the downhill side. So when I water this thing, it should pond. It's probably going to need supplemental watering for the first 1 or 2 years. So I'll have to water it. I'll have to drag the hose up here a couple times a month or something in the summertime and give it a good drink probably. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put in the other 2. So, talk to you later. Okay, this one's called Everest whatever. It's the one that I expect to have probably the best fruits. I put it in the middle. And the other one I'm going to put over there is kind of a jack of all trades, master of none variety, which I'm putting over here just because it's mostly here for cross-pollination. For apples, this is a Dolgo it says. For crab apples, or for apples I guess in general, you need to have more than one variety so that they cross-pollinate and you get more fruit. So I'm planting three varieties here, and hopefully if at least 2 of them survive, then I'll get fruit. I hear that apple orchards, people that run apple orchards, typically plant a crab apple in their orchard to provide cross-pollination for their main crop. Let's see what else I'm going to mention. Oh, the organic fertilizer, something else there. I mean, one other reason for using it, it's just natural, so it's slow release. So even though the nitrogen is 8, which is fairly high for me, it's slow release and it's organic, so it won't burn. If I put on too much by accident, it won't burn the plant. So this one also is pretty much just a stick with one branch, so no pruning necessary on it above the ground. So I'm going to get the last. Okay. All right. All 3 of them are in the ground. Dirt's been tamped down, not too hard, so there's a little bit of air, but not too much air. And I gave them a little bit of water. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so they shouldn't need any yet, and they're not even blooming yet or leafing out, so they should be just fine. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and end the show here, and then maybe next month or in a couple of weeks I can do a show. We can walk around and see what lessons to be learned from the yard, what did good and what fell over in the snow. So we'll see. So until then, happy gardening.